Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Nick again, and in today's video we're going to be ranking the best Batman movies. This will be just the live action movies, so let's get straight into it. So like I said, in today's video we are going to be ranking the best Batman movies in the perfect order of what I think is the worst to the best of the Batman movies. Now this is just my opinion, you may not agree, that's fine, but this is what I think. So in my opinion, the worst Batman film, which obviously there's going to be a lot of people who may agree with me on this one, but the worst Batman film for me is Batman and Robin. That's right, George Clooney's Batman for me was probably the worst Batman film ever. From Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, as much as I love Arnie, it was comical, to just everything about the film, man. It was just, even as a kid, I thought it was crap. Now that's saying something, because when you're a kid, Batman's Batman. It doesn't even matter how bad the film is. It's a Batman film nonetheless. So yeah, Batman and Robin last on the list for me. Next on the list is 1966 Batman. That's right, Adam West's Batman's on this list. I would probably say the reason why I put this so far low on the list is because I guess it's old, probably didn't age too well. There were some comical parts in that film and in the TV series as a whole. But yeah, 1966 Batman is next on the list. So next after that, Batman Forever. Now, in Batman Forever's defense, I was obsessed with this film when I was younger, and I did love this film. But looking back on it as I've grown up and become an adult, it wasn't the best Batman film. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best, if you know what I mean. I thought Val Kilmer was okay as Batman, but I guess he just didn't feel like a Batman, like Batman. He didn't feel like a Batman, if you know what I mean. It's hard to explain, but yeah, Batman Forever. And the next one on the list, you're gonna have a lot of people caught in the moment right now and are gonna completely and utterly disagree with what I have to say, and that is fine. That's your opinion, that is great. But this is mine, and the next on the list is The Batman. That's right, Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, The Batman for me is next on the list. The only reason it's not lower on the list is because it was good, but there was too many things about it that I didn't like, if you know what I mean. I thought it was a bit too dark. I felt like it was a film where a filmmaker had watched the Christopher Nolan trilogy and was just trying to emulate that trilogy, but just make it a little bit darker and didn't feel original. It's like, how many times we got to see this dark Batman, you know? Oh, how dark can Batman? Just because he wear the black suit doesn't mean he needs to be that dark. And I didn't like Robert Pattinson as Batman, to be honest with you. He's not threatening. He's not scary. He doesn't intimidate anyone. I mean, but yeah, the Batman's on the list. A lot of people probably not going to be okay with that, but that's fine. It's my list, man. Okay, next on the list is another controversial one that few people probably might have a problem with. It's The Dark Knight. That's right, Heath Ledger's role as the Joker irritated me a little bit because I grew up watching the Joker be funny. He's sadistic, but funny. And Heath Ledger's Joker is complete opposite to that. I respect his version of the Joker. I understand it. His version of the Joker, from the way Christopher Nolan wanted the film, it fits with that film, but it's not my Joker, if you know what I mean. You know, I prefer Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I felt for me, he was more comic book accurate, but Heath Ledger's Joker definitely suits that film. I mean, if you put a comical or a funny guy Joker in, you know, like Mark Hamill's Joker or Jack Nicholson's Joker in a Dark Knight film, it does not fit, and it's a poor fit, and it'll make the film bad. So I completely understand the way Heath Ledger's Joker is in that film. It makes sense, but I just didn't like it. I didn't like the film. I felt, for me, the film feels longer than it actually is. You know, I've watched the film and it could be halfway through and I feel like I've been watching the film for 3 hours. You know, there are parts of the film that is quite boring, and that's why, you know, it's never been one of my favorites. Next on the list is Batman Begins. Now, I really liked Batman Begins when it came out. I thought, yes, it's finally a fresh new Batman. I've always thought Batman Begins was, in my opinion, one of Christian Bale's better Batman films. It's not higher up on the list because the other films in front of it I really like a lot more, but Batman Begins is definitely a solid Batman film. And if you've never seen any Batman films, it'd be one of the ones I would suggest to watch. If you ever curious about how he became Batman, how he started as Batman, this is definitely an eye-opening film. And I always thought it was a very good idea to do a film like this. Next on the list is Batman Returns. It's a Michael Keaton one. Michael Keaton for me, he's my Batman. You know, I've always loved Michael Keaton. I think the only time an actor has portrayed Batman and I was like, oh, okay, this guy, he could be the Batman GOAT, is probably Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck for me in the Batman vs Superman film, he was Batman. He had Bruce Wayne down to a T. He had Batman down to a T. And I think it's just such a shame that we'll never get to see a Ben Affleck Batman movie, you know? And I think it's disappointment. But in regards to the list, Batman Returns is one of my favorite films because it's one of the few superhero films with multiple villains in it and they all get their time on screen and it fits and it's so well done. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito, I mean, you couldn't ask for, you know, better people to play villains. I mean, they did their roles so perfectly. I mean, Danny DeVito, for me, is the Penguin and I can't imagine anyone else. Colin Farrell, you know, he tried, but he's not Danny DeVito. You know, Michelle Pfeiffer can't be topped as Catwoman. Not the 1966 Catwoman, Halle Berry, Zoe Kravitz, Anne Hathaway. None of them are Michelle Pfeiffer. She did the role so perfectly. The only element of the film I didn't like was the whole Christmas time, and I just felt parts of the story felt like they were dragging, and it wasn't as entertaining as, you know, the first film. But yeah, still one of my most favorite Batman films. Number 2 on the list now, it's a Christopher Nolan one, and it's The Dark Knight Rises. Now, a lot of people will probably say, oh, The Dark Knight is better. That's your opinion. I prefer The Dark Knight Rises for certain reasons. One of the main reasons is I like the kind of almost redemption-like arc for Batman and Bruce in this. You know, he's lost everything, he's been defeated by Bane, and now he has to recapture that fire inside that made him Batman in the first place. And I think the scene in the prison, you know, when he's doing the push-ups and then he's getting prepared to climb the rope again and do that thing, for me, it's such an uplifting scene, especially the music, you know, when he starts like, you know, Bruce, why do we fall? To get back up, you know, I thought that was amazing. And the climactic scene when he actually climbs out the prison and they show him outside the prison, I just thought it was so cool. And that film had me pumped. I remember watching it and just thinking, oh my God, is he gonna beat Bane and stuff like that? And I really like that film. And then the ending is just like, it leaves you wanting more. Because you're like, oh my God, is Bruce still alive? You know, you don't even know what's going on. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is you know, is you know, is Alfred imagining it's all in his head, or is it real? So yeah, that was probably my second favorite Batman film of all time. And number 1, the film that I love the most, the Batman film that in my mind will never be topped, can never be topped, will never be topped, and it's just near dear to my heart. I loved it as a child. It literally took over my whole life as a child. Is Batman, the first Michael Keaton and Tim Burton movie. I mean, how can you better that? Tim Burton knows how to make a dark movie, let's be honest. And Michael Keaton was just eccentric. I mean, just think of it, the lines, I'm Batman. You know, it's so cool. And you had bloody the soundtrack, you know, Danny Elfman. That is Danny Elfman's Batman theme is the Batman theme. Every other Batman trilogy has had their own Batman film. The Batman has it, Christopher Nolan's trilogy has it, even to some degree it's in Batman versus Superman, but none of them are as iconic as, you know, Danny Elfman's on. Down, 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 down. Come on, man. I mean, you can't beat that. Oh, man. The Batman film, for me, Batman is one of the greatest superhero films in my mind anyway. And I will always love that film. It's one of the very few Batman films I can just watch again and again and again. And it never gets old to me. You know, it's the only reason I'm looking forward to the Flash movie. I mean, let's forget all the Ezra Miller nonsense. And, you know, no one's going to watch the film from Ezra Miller anyway. We were going for Michael Keaton. That's why we were going. And I'm so curious to see what he's going to look like in that film. So there you have it, guys. That is my list of my favorite Batman films. My ranking list for all the Batman films. I hope you enjoyed it. Whatever your Batman list is, I'm sure it's great. This was my list. If you got any comments about my list, drop them down in the comment section below. Let me know. Let's have a chat about it. And don't forget, guys, to like the video and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Live long and prosper.